Now, before everybody starts grabbing their pitchforks and coming up outside my house, let me clarify. These aren't necessarily bad cars, but they often don't live up to the hype or their price tags. Looking at you, GT3 RS. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of overrated cars, and this trend has been going up so much lately, and it's mainly because of one thing, or two things I'd like to say, the car spotters and also TikTok. I think car spotting became a trend on TikTok in like 2022 maybe. When like, it was just random car spotting. People would like to car spot. It's not anything new. Then TikTok started getting involved and all of these kids who've never even driven a car before start to give some horrendous opinions. Start labeling best car this, worst car that, blah blah blah. Like bro, you're like 12. The closest thing you ever got to an automobile was like the Walmart shopping cart, bro. Please sit down. But anyways, so let's get to the first entry of this video, which is the Porsche GT3 RS. Now guys, come on, it's a track weapon, one of the fastest cars in the Nürburgring. But the sad thing is that this Porsche will never get to see a track in its lifetime. It's probably going to be sitting in a garage just waiting to be sold at auction, then to be sold to another dealership, and then it just keeps getting sold until someone makes the ultimate profit. Now that's not my problem. My problem is the fact that people are labeling this the best car of all time. I mean, everybody is entitled to their own opinions, but as we all know in the car culture, some opinions are wrong. I mean, guys, the car costs $450,000 as of right now. You know how many cars you could buy with $450,000? Especially when you look at the fact that the GT3, which is its smaller brother, which is basically the same, costs half of it. You're literally paying $200,000 more for just two letters, which are R and S. Not to mention the car is less comfortable, it's more track focused, and you can't take it, driving every day like you would in a GT3. And all around, it simply can't be labeled the best car of all time. And equally as annoying car is the BMW M5 CS. Don't get me wrong, this is a crazy car by all means, the fastest sedan in the world. I mean, BMW went all out with this car. If we thought the competition was crazy enough, BMW just then hits us with the craziest car of all time. It's a four-door rocket. It can beat supercars. Hell, I've seen it beat some hypercars. I mean, come on, hypercars with an H. But a lot of people like to overhype one thing, and that is its performance. Now, like I said, this car is by all means crazy, and it has some of the best performance in the market right now. But it's become so annoying that some BMW kids genuinely think that the M5 CS could be like a Bugatti Chiron. You know how insane that is? Beating a Bugatti, a modern Bugatti. Hell, I've seen some people thinking that it could beat a Revuelto. A Revuelto! Are you a Revuelto? That is a hybrid V12 pushing like what, 1,000 plus horsepower. And you think that your heavy ass four-door sedan, which by all means is crazy, can beat it, is just out of this world. Not to mention the M5 CS also suffers the letter syndrome, which is the fact that you're going to be paying over $80,000 over the M5 competition. $80,000. That is almost the price of an M5 competition in and of itself. So you can go ahead, you can buy an M5 competition for yourself. Hell, you can even buy an E63S for your mate. You can both race, have some fun, right? And maybe it will reach the price of an M5 CS. Now, if you guys haven't known, I've made another video of how media and social media drives car prices up. So I really recommend you watch it because it gives you a great insight about why car prices actually go up and why enthusiast cars have been going up in price these days. Now, enough of the German cars, let's get into something more British-ish, I guess, which is the Land Rover Defender. The Land Rover Defender will always be one of the most underwhelming Land Rovers that Land Rover has ever come out with. It's simply insane how un-off-roady this supposedly off-road car is. Bro, they done stripped out the old Defender with all its glory and all its brood and everything, and made it into a soccer mom car that its best off-road option is 4 low and 4 high. I mean, what? Well, like, these things cost like $130,000 plus. And you can get better off-roading capability in a car that costs like maybe 6 times less. And I get it, it's a Range Rover, but this thing costs almost the same as its other counterpart, the Range Rover Vogue. And do keep in mind that the Range Rover Vogue almost has the same capabilities as the Land Rover Defender. They're technically both the same car. They're just being sold under different names. One's Vogue and one's Defender. And guess what? It's working. People are buying them. Land Rover has successfully tricked all the divorced moms into buying all these stupid cars that are all basically the same framework, same engine, same everything. And speaking of off-roading cars, let's get into the next entry, which is the Mercedes-Benz G63. Now, in my opinion, this is the least deserving car to be on this list. Now, while yes, it is overhyped, it is overrated, the G63 truly is a dominant car. Its off-roading is crazy. I mean, I've yet to see this car losing an off-roading race against like other competitors. Like, unless the car is customized, like fully stock, bone stock, I think the G63 can beat any car in off-road. Its performance is crazy with its V8 twin turbo. I mean, it looks like a tank. But here's the thing. Nobody buying the G63 is taking it off-roading, and I mean absolutely no one. I think the only time I've seen a G63 off-roading is that one YouTube channel of that one Chinese guy just like recording cars off-roading. And it's like in every video, it's literally just one G63 throughout all of the videos because nobody else takes their G63 off-roading. Most owners of G63s, like I said, are divorced moms. They're exactly the same target audience as the Land Rover Defenders. The maximum off-road the G63 is going to see is when it hits a curb while a soccer mom's trying to park. Let's make a big transition from the G63 into something much more smaller, which is the Miata. Now, I think with me announcing the Miata, I'm probably gonna die. Calm down. Okay, let's analyze what the Miata actually is. Miata is a small, little fun car you like to drive around, nice on the corners, easy to drive, cheap, or used to be cheap. But a lot of people tend to overrate the Miata for what it is. Like, I swear I've seen a conversation before where one guy is trying to decide between taking a BMW M2 or a Supra Mark V, right? And this guy comes out of nowhere and tells him, why don't you get a Miata? Brother, we are comparing Supras and BMWs here. A Miata has no place in this. Like, every time someone mentions a two-door coupe, good for corners, they immediately jump on the Miata. Like, we get it, it's a great car, but please, it is not a competitor to the big dogs. Not to mention the old Miatas have been going up in price so much, they're not even worth it anymore. They lost their reputation as being the affordable, accessible, nice JDM car everybody could buy. But what you for sure shit can't buy is a new Audi RS6. I feel so sad that this car is on the list because this is genuinely one of my favorite cars of all time. But it has gotten so overrated, its reputation is basically tarnished. Not only that, but the car itself isn't that great either. Now, I'm sorry to break it to you, but Audis are unreliable as f***, especially V8 twin turbo Audis. It's a thing with the Volkswagen group where, like, no matter what Volkswagen touches, it just breaks. It's just bound to happen. I don't care if your window switch is Volkswagen, that shit's gonna break. And guess what? For that, you're gonna be paying $110,000. $110,000. That is almost $30,000 more than a BMW M5 competition with the same specifications. With $30,000 more, I can genuinely buy a Miata and be over with my day. Now, one other overrated car, the last on the list, is the Jeep Wrangler. I think everyone saw this coming. I don't know why, but Jeep Wranglers are everywhere. Like, genuinely, I don't understand why people keep buying them. Like, I don't understand. Like, it simply doesn't go through my head. You're telling me you had all the options. You had all the options. From Ford, from GM, from Toyota, from I don't know who, from I don't know where. And you decided you would pick a Jeep Wrangler. Which is, by the way, more expensive than its competitors, less fuel efficient, looks horrible in my opinion, and is extremely unreliable. Like, you're literally trading off everything in order to get this car. And yet it still sells. I don't understand. Like, I swear Jeep has some sort of magic on people. Like, how do these cars still sell? Like, some of the cars on the list are very understandable. Like the M5 CS or the Audi RS6 or the Miata. Like, yeah, they might be overhyped, but they're still very understandable. Like, I'd buy those cars. I don't care if they're overrated. I'd buy those cars. They're great cars, right? But then you come to the Wrangler. It's overrated, but it's also a bad car. Now, keep in mind, all of this is my opinion and my personal experience. However, I do base my opinions on research, guys. And that is what everybody should do. Research your cars, people. 5 minutes of research could decide between a great car and a horrible car. And these are only overrated cars. They're not bad cars by any means, but they're just overrated and overhyped. Thank you guys for watching this video. This has been Alexer, out.